Those couple of days leading up to when you first bleed is like the prime time for when you're probably needing a bit more sleep, a bit more love, you know.
Yeah. I always need more love.
Yeah.
You definitely know that I'm coming onto my period because I never want to hug anybody. Don't
touch me.
It's my time to shine.
The girls' locker room.
Hello and welcome to the Girls' Locker Room. I'm Muir, England Red Rose.
And I'm Sadia, Kabeya, her bestie and teammate. We spend loads of time together on and off the pitch, so what's a little bit more time recording this show?
So this week it's all about sleep, recovery and injury. Can you tell when you've not had enough sleep?
Yeah, and everyone around me can tell I'm always in a really grumpy mood, I don't have enough energy, I have to have a nap during the day, so yeah, I can always tell. I feel like I can tell with you if you don't have enough sleep either.
What am I like?
Quiet, and you're not usually quiet.
Or alternatively, I just chat and chat. I feel like if I'm overtired. I think I just get really rambly when I'm tired. I mean, I think you know that, don't you?
You always tell your stories a bit too much.
Shall we welcome in our expert then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Former Red Rose and now turned S&C coach at Ealing Trailfinders Women, one of the brand new clubs in the PWR.
She was at Wasps last season and founded FIPO, the first ever S&C platform dedicated to women's rugby. Welcome to our girls' locker room, Fiona Pocock.
Ooh, this is cosy. So, how are you, Fee?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
That is okay.
Of course. So let's chat sleep. We've established Maud as a bit of a rambler when she gets too tired. I just get quite grumpy. What is the optimal amount of sleep?
For an athlete, generally
yeah.
You're meant to be getting between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. So if you're in that, you're doing okay. Anything less, you're probably going to be compromised a little bit.
Okay. And how does it affect your performance off the field?
Well, the sleep is just vital for those adaptations that you're working so hard to get in training. It's when you're sleeping, it's when you're getting those adaptations. So if you're not quite getting enough recovery, you're probably falling short on what you want to achieve.
So when I first went into the gym, I had no idea what I was doing. I was looking at all these big old men lifting weights and I had no idea what to do. Have you got any advice for young girls going into the gym for the first time?
It's intimidating for the first time, isn't it? So I think knowing what you're going to do before you go in there is always a good one. Obviously the instructors are there who can assist you in what the machines do, for example, but having a plan and saying, okay, I'm going to tick these exercises off and systematically go through these exercises. I think starting off with really simple movements first, so things like a bodyweight squat or even a wall squat. Have you ever tried to hold a wall squat for 60 seconds?
Not good on the legs.
Not good. So you can really make it as simple as that and build up your technique in those areas. The machines are pretty good as well, so that like the leg press and the leg extension and the leg curl that don't require much technique, but they do build your strength up. They're good places to go as well. And if you don't have a gym, then just go outside or pick a spot in your bedroom, and everyone's got a bit of wall they can rest their bum on. And you just do a wall squat at home or some lunges or some kneeling press-ups, a plank, things like that. There's tons of bodyweight stuff that you can do and you don't need any equipment.
What are your main key tips for staying fit while going through an injury?
I think you just need to find a way to work around it. I mean, if you've injured your shoulder, you can still work your legs. You sit on that bike and keep yourself ticking over. There's always work to be done. Someone once told me that every injury is an opportunity. You don't feel like it at the time, but it is absolutely true. And there's always something that you can work on.
You've been loving the battle ropes recently, haven't you?
I have been loving the battle ropes. I've got a little bit of a hamstring injury at the moment, so I have been stuck on the battle ropes, stuck on the ski erg, stuck on the assault bike, but just arms, which is a killer. But keeps me going.
Yeah,
so.
I did one session of off feet with no legs and I died. My arms felt like they were going to fall off, honestly.
I think the worst one I've ever done is a arms-only swimming session underwater, holding my breath, because I get an aerobic stimulus. It was really horrible. I was drowning.
Oh God,
that isn't good.
That sounds traumatic, actually.
And the menstrual cycle's been quite a lot in the news at the minute. Is there importance on tracking your menstrual cycle, and does that link to injuries?
Yeah, I think there is some evidence that the menstrual cycle can kind of, you know, increase your risk of injury. There's still much more research that needs to be done before we can actually categorise those things. But it's to do with the laxity of your joints at a particular time in your menstrual cycle. Add that to maybe not being quite as recovered. So, you know...
Recovery.
Yeah. and also things like coordination. I don't know about you, but I become so clumsy when I'm about to come on, and that might also be a factor why maybe on the pitch you've not quite got yourself in the right position, or you drop a ball and that causes you know, something else to happen that might put you at risk, things like that.
We can't test that with you. It's just clumsy all the time. So.
Really? Maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe.
Have you had any issues with symptoms?
Not too bad. I'm really bad at tracking it though. I need to get on that. We have, to be fair, in camp we've got like different coping mechanisms for like turmeric and stuff like that they're bringing in. So if you're on your period and you've got bad symptoms, they tell you how to, you know, how to cope with that. So it's quite good.
Yeah. I don't struggle with
No,
bad.
I'm not
Well,
too
probably normal, day 1 and 2.
Yeah, day
it's
1.
a little bit iffy, but yeah, otherwise you just go on.
Yeah, that day 1 and 2, or the couple of days leading up to when you first bleed, is like the prime time for when you're probably needing a bit more sleep, a bit more love, you know.
Yeah. I always need more love.
Yeah.
You definitely know that I'm coming onto my period because I never want to hug anybody, but I will hug someone.
Don't touch me.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah.
So obviously there's the bleeding part of your menstrual cycle, but in other parts of the cycle, is there times where you can like excel in the gym and stuff like that?
Absolutely. You've probably got a 2-week window where you really can push. So as soon as you start bleeding, obviously after that sort of initial day, that's when you can start thinking, I can go into the gym now and see if I can just push these weights up a little bit. Your tolerance to training improves at that time, so you'll find that your outputs on the field might improve as well in those first 2 weeks. You might even get a personal best in a lift if that's what you're chasing at that time. And then you've got that window around day 14 of ovulation where seemingly the theory is that you gain some superpowers around that time, and that's when you really can go for it.
Well, thanks Fee for coming on and answering all of our questions. We really enjoyed having you on.
Thank you for having me.
And you've been watching The Girls' Locker Room with Maud and Sadia.
Thank you. The Girls' Locker Room.